When I think of President Kennedy, I think of what Shakespeare said in Romeo and Juliet, when he shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars, and he shall make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night and pay no worship to the garish sun.
This is an honor and a pleasure that I've never had before. To introduce my son on a platform. I can tell you, of course, a great deal about him. I used to spank him with the ruler. It gives me great pleasure to introduce my seventh child, Robert Francis Kennedy.
I want to thank my mother for the kind introduction. That's what we've gotten down to this campaign. After some of these polls came out that we were not doing too well, we took Mother. Yeah, I know. I'm going to tell them you did. Well, why don't you give your own speech? See, that's it. We don't. My brother and I never. The reason she's never introduced any of us before is because we never go on the same platform with her. We couldn't possibly compete with that.
If I have reason to believe that there's going to be a riot started and somebody tells me that there's going to be trouble if you don't stop them, then it's my duty to stop them.
And then you go out and arrest them?
Well, absolutely.
And charge them?
Charge them.
What do you charge them with?
Violating unlawful assembly.
This is the most interesting concept, I think, that you suddenly hear or talk about the fact that somebody makes a report about somebody's going to get out of order, perhaps violate the law, and you go in and arrest them. They haven't done anything wrong. How can you go arrest somebody if they haven't violated the law?
They're ready to violate the law. In other words, just like these labor people out here, they ask their attorney, what shall we do?
Could I suggest in the interim period of time, in the luncheon period of time, that the sheriff and the district attorney read the Constitution of the United States?
Get lunch. You haven't had lunch yet?
No. Senator, what do you make of the problem of poverty in this, our poorest state?
Well, I think it's obviously greater poverty as we've had in our country. And I think that considering we have a gross national product of some $700 billion and that we spend $75 billion on armaments, weapons, that you would think that we spend almost $3 billion each year on dogs in the United States as American citizens, that we could be doing more for those who are poor and particularly for our children.
I'm going to remain on as a United States Senator representing the state of New York, and I'm going to support the Democratic ticket 1968 of President Johnson Hubert Humphrey. Boo! I am announcing today my candidacy for the presidency of the United States. I do not run for the presidency merely to oppose any man, but to propose new policies. I run because I am convinced that this country is on a perilous course, and because I have such strong feelings about what must be done, and I feel that I'm obliged to do all that I can.
If you feel that we can have a new day for America, if you feel that we can do better for those who are deprived within our own country, that we can stand for something more within the United States, if you think that we have a role that we can play with all of mankind, I ask for your help. I ask for your assistance. I think that we can win in Chicago. I think we can win the election in November, and I think we can have a new day for the United States of America. Thank you very much.
What we need in the United States is not hatred. What we need in the United States is not violence and lawlessness, but is love and wisdom and compassion toward one another. For those of you who are black and are tempted to be filled with hatred and mistrust of the injustice of such an act,
against all white people. I would only say that I can also feel in my own heart the same kind of feeling. I had a member of my family killed, but he was killed by a white man. It is not the end of violence. It is not the end of lawlessness, and it's not the end of disorder.
Senator Robert Kennedy has won the first primary test in his attempt to secure the Democratic nomination for the presidency.
Good evening. Robert Kennedy has won the Democratic primary in the state of Nebraska.
I think that probably I have to win here. I haven't dealt with percentages before, and I don't think it's very helpful at the moment. I've got to go because I got thousands of fans waiting for me, I hope. Thank you very much.
Senator Kennedy has just entered the ballroom here at his election headquarters, and you can hear the pandemonium that has resulted. Senator is pushing his way to a crowd of reporters and photographers gathered around the podium, up to the speaker's stand.
What I think is quite clear is that we can work together in the last analysis, and that what has been going on within the United States over the period of the last 3 years, the divisions, the violence, the disenchantment with our society, the divisions, whether it's between blacks and whites, between the poor and the more affluent, or between age groups, or on the war in Vietnam, that we can start to work together. We are a great country, and a selfish country, and a compassionate country. And I intend to make that my basis for running and over the period of next year. My thanks to all of you, and now it's on to Chicago, and let's win there.